guys, you can see the message is trying to get out really strong. People have just had enough of threatening legislation that's going to take their dogs away. How can you discriminate against a whole breed or several breeds of dogs? It's how the dogs are raised. I've said it a million times, and these people are here to voice their opinion on it. It's a really good turnout, and you can see people here, and you can see the dogs, and just responsible ownership. This is what it's all about. Don't let the media fool you. This is how responsible dog ownership really is.
Okay, my name's Fiona. I have worked in the animal welfare industry for 15 years, in the kennels, day in, day out, always in very hands-on roles, dealing with the flood of animals we see coming through the gates. During my time in the shelter, I've seen hundreds of dogs display aggression, either because they have an aggressive disposition, or more often due to being placed in a stressful situation they cannot escape from. I've observed many recurring factors with these dogs: lack of socialisation and training, poor breeding, and rough and aggressive handlers by owners are all common denominators for dogs displaying aggression, certainly not breed. The fact is, all dogs can display aggressive behaviours, especially when stressed. And let's face it, most dogs get stressed at least once in their lives. In my time as a trainer working with special needs and cruelty case animals, one thing I did notice is that if anything, bull breeds are possibly one of the most resilient. Still able to love, most still able to love freely and easily after suffering unspeakable acts of cruelty. Quite simply, they do not have an inbuilt willingness to hurt people. I've seen firsthand in the thousands of bull breeds and hundreds of pit bulls I have worked with that this idea that they are more dangerous than other breeds is quite simply a myth. I have also in my time been the person with the unfortunate task to score potential pit bulls in order to prevent them from being rehomed, as council regulation forbade our organisation to do so. All I can say is, wow, what a flawed system. After 2 days of training, I'm given the power to decide the fate of a dog on my interpretation of its looks. All bull breeds, including pit bulls, are my passion in life, and I was put into the position because of my knowledge and love of the breed. I accepted this horrible task because I saw the flaws in the system and didn't trust anyone else to be 100% fair. Sometimes though, I felt like the only person in Australia scoring with the aim of passing and not failing the dog, with the aim of rehoming the animal, was solid proof that it can live freely in society without discrimination. I think anybody who looks can see the scoring system isn't worth the paper that it's written on. How it can be legally binding blows me away. The potential for misuse and abuse is overwhelming. It simply needs to be stopped. BSL makes innocent, decent and responsible dog owners targets for discrimination. The majority of bull breed or mastiff owners would all be able to recall a time when their dogs were described as aggressive and not able to be trusted simply based on the dog's appearance. Our family pets are constantly being judged by strangers, acquaintances and in my case even family. Yet we are expected to just accept with grace one of our family members being insulted. I know I was also personally offended by recent comments made in the media, labelling me a certain type of person because of my choice in pet. How is that acceptable? How are those types of labels in our society allowed to continue? BSL breeds hate. People all too often think that the people affected by BSL get what they deserve for taking on a dog that they know is restricted, that their main aim is to own an aggressive dog. The fact is that it all too often affects normal, decent Australian families. Families who end up with pets that unfortunately grow up to look a certain way. Families that have no idea that their beloved pet looks to be restricted until it's tragically too late. It affects innocent dogs owners with social and well-adjusted pets who are unaware of these laws. It kills innocent dogs that have done nothing wrong, who are deemed to be a certain breed and therefore potentially dangerous by inexperienced, poorly trained council staff that all too often get it wrong.
Yes.
I feel that we need to educate dog owners and the community. We need to promote responsible dog ownership and encourage effective animal management by all dog owners. Let's make people more accountable for their dog's actions. Put the spotlight back on the owner where it needs to be and give the dogs a break for a change. Tougher penalties for people who own dogs that are aggressive need to be imposed. This will take the focus away from the breed and make the real issue stand out, proving it's a bigger issue than just a few breeds, but an issue of lazy or aggressive owners making dogs pay for their actions or inaction. Thank you.
Thanks very much for everyone for actually turning up. It's a great turnout for the first rally, and as you probably realise, the RSPCA obviously supports everything that Deb and Fiona have said. Absolutely no doubt about it. We do not support BSL legislation. And as Fee also said, and she has worked with the RSPCA for the last 15 years, she comes into contact with basically the consequences of this legislation on a daily basis. She's not there at the moment. She just had twins. I wish she'd hurry up and come back because we all miss her. But it really is, it's very, very hard for the people who work there to basically, by default, have to enforce this legislation. And that's what we have to do. I mean, this whole idea of a point system just sucks. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. You can have somebody, you can have Fee down in Brisbane who will have to interpret the point system in one way, and you'll get somebody else up in Bundaberg or in another suburb in another pound who will interpret it in a different way. I mean, it's quite simple. You punish the deed, you don't punish the breed. It honestly, truly is just common sense. And on a personal note, I've had a lot to do with the Showman's Guild over the years. And a showman friend of mine, his daughter, who's in her late 30s, early 40s, she's had this one particular dog, I guess you'd have to say pit bull cross probably, for 8.5 years. And they were in Bundaberg recently, and the dog was just hanging around the caravan as it normally does and has done for the past 8 years. The council have come along, they've confiscated the dog, and they put the dog down. That dog had been around children and people all its life. And the only mistake it made, or not it made, that we made, was that the council decided that the points were in favour of it being a pit bull. So that dog, a beloved family pet, was put down. And sadly we see this all the time, Fee sees it all the time. People who surrender dogs, people who've had dogs seized for no reason. I mean, you really do. If you're going to punish, you punish the deed, not the breed. It's just absolutely as simple as that. And we'll do everything we can to try and get this BSL legislation changed. And also, as Deb and Fee have also said, it's also so important that education plays a role as well, because there's no doubt our inspectors have seen it with suspected people who are involved in dog fighting. There are the wrong people who end up with these dogs. That does happen, and no doubt about that. So you have to police the owners. You don't need to police the dogs. Simple as that. And once again, thanks very much for turning up. It is a good cause, and hopefully, with enough push and shove and enough common voice in the community, the government will see common sense. That's what we have.
Good morning, everybody. Firstly, I'd just like to thank everyone for coming along today, showing your support for the cause. I want to say thanks to Deb for organising, and Fiona. Thank you to Michael from the RSPCA for coming along and showing his support as well. It's really important to have those bodies, those corporations really showing us their support as well. As Deb said, I'm a dog trainer. I work for Urban Dog Training here in Brisbane. I've been there for just over 2 years now. This is my dog Phoenix, she's 3. I've also got another bull breed at home, Kira, she's 6 years old. I've also been involved in rescue for the past 12 months and have fostered a fair few dogs now, most of them bull breeds. So they are definitely something that I'm passionate about and something that I've been involved with for a while. Today I'm here to mostly talk to you guys about the behavioural correlation to breed and appearance, which obviously makes up a large part of what they base breed-specific legislation on. Through extensive research conducted around the world, we know that it is impossible to accurately predict behaviour based on physical appearance or breed alone. Every dog is an individual whose behaviour is a group of complex traits influenced by a number of outside factors, such as training, socialisation, breeding, environment, genetics and management. And yet many continue to believe that physical appearance and breed alone are enough to make judgments about a dog's predisposition towards aggression and other behavioural traits. There is no canine behaviour trait that is unique to one breed of dog or uniformly guaranteed in its presentation among dogs of any one breed, whether pure or mixed. There is always variation among individual dogs, even within dogs of the same litter. Breed traits are possible but never guaranteed. This is especially true for any dog that is mixed breed dog. Once a dog is a mixed breed, all bets are off in terms of how breed traits present themselves. However, even if we are talking about purebred dogs, we still know breed traits are possible but not guaranteed. When breeding dogs for purpose, such as greyhounds for racing, even the most strict, ruthless breeding for a specific trait can only increase the likelihood of a behaviour to a certain point, but it cannot guarantee it. Just as breed is not an accurate indicator of behaviour or personality traits, neither is a dog's appearance. A dog's entire physical appearance is determined by a very small amount of genetic material. For example, of the 20,000 genes that make up the canine genome, as few as 6 of those determine a dog's head shape. And none of the genes associated with head shape are also associated with behaviour or personality. Dr. Alexandra Horowitz of the Dog Cognition Lab writes, breed standards include personality descriptions. Unfortunately, personality is not genetically determined. Just as a person's personality derives from more than her genome, a dog is not merchandise whose behaviour can be predicted ahead of time. While many may see breed typical personalities in their dogs, there is simply no guarantee that a dog will behave just so. Witness the case of cloned dogs, genetically identical pets who have, to their owner's great surprise, quite different personalities. Thus, inadvertently, breed standards lead potential adopters to treat them more like products with reliable features. Dogs are individuals and should be treated thusly. And this brings us to what really is the heart of what I'm trying to say here. All dogs are individuals, first and foremost. For whatever traits we may observe in our own dogs or others, in the end, every single dog is an individual. All dogs must be evaluated for the adoption flaw, for an insurance policy, or for restrictions within a community based on their observed individual behaviour, not on breed or appearance or predictions based on either of those things. So how does this relate to breed-specific or breed-discriminatory legislation? The problem with breed-specific legislation is that it relies entirely on the premise that behaviour is determined by appearance or breed, when all the evidence shows that behaviour is influenced throughout a dog's life by a myriad of factors. Community safety is the mutual goal we are all aiming for, and as Rebecca will be shortly pointing out in her speech, breed-specific legislation has been proven time and time again to be a costly and ineffective exercise. That has no positive effect on reducing incidents of dog bites or increasing community safety. It is time we start to expect those responsible for drafting and enacting our laws to do thorough research and to liaise with experts in the field of dog behaviour, genetics and animal management, and those who have enacted successful community safety dog laws to put into place legislation that will protect our community instead of persecuting innocent dogs based on the shape of their head or the colour of their nose. Thank you.
first off, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak to me.
Yep.
So basically, myself and my dogs, Dude and Autumn here, are Canadian by birth. We've been in Australia for about 4 years now, or just over 4 years. I started off in the AMSAF world. Oh, come here. Thank you. I started off in the AMSAF world. I was looking for a very specific type of dog. I knew bully breeds back in North America, and I really liked them. And just through research and finding the right breeder, I ended up with my first AMSAF, who is Dude here. We dabbled a little bit in the show world, but didn't have too much success. Very shortly thereafter, starting in late 2003, early 2004, I got involved into bully breed rescue, and that's where Autumn over here, she actually became, she was a foster dog who became one of my subsequent foster failures.
Okay. Awesome. So, look, we all know that breed-specific legislation really it just discriminates completely against a variety of dogs, not just AMSAFs, pit bulls, and so forth. So, what would you like to see happen here today?
Absolutely. I want to educate the public about how we can have safer communities, and the best way that we can have safer communities is by having breed-neutral laws that place onus on the owner and the actions and responsibilities of the owner. And it's been proven time and time again throughout the world that this is a method that works, and these policies create safer communities.
Because really, to me, the way I look at it, I mean, I'm an AMSAF owner. I had pit bulls when I was younger, and you know, they were treated correctly, raised correctly. I never had any issues. And this is the thing that we're trying to get out, even through the YouTube channel, is that look, you know, it's just total discrimination. It would be like us saying, okay, a certain group, like maybe Asians, are responsible for high crime, so we'll ban all Asians, or whites, or blacks, or whatever. It's discriminatory. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the problem with this law is it absolutely takes into no account for behavior. Everything is simply based on the way a dog looks, and the science behind it is simply that you cannot determine a dog's behavior on how it looks, or on the carriage of its ears, or the shape of its eyes. There is simply absolutely no scientific fact whatsoever on this planet that physicality or phenotype dictates behavior in any way, shape, or form.
And I mean, I've seen it, and a lot of us have seen it, especially with the media, and they'll say a pit bull type dog, and a lot of the time it might be, you know, it might have a smidge of staffy in it somewhere, but what else is it mixed with? How was it raised? And I'm sure you'd agree, these are the questions that, you know, responsible people need to look at it sensibly and ask these questions, because, you know, they are great dogs, and you can easily see it here, how they are when they're raised correctly. So,
absolutely.
Look, we wish you the best for the rally, and we're certainly going to partake in it, and I'm trying as hard as I can, even my YouTube channel, to get it out there and the correct message on raising them. So look, all the best with it, and let's hope that this sends out a positive message to everyone just about the breed and what BSL stands for.
Excellent.
All right, so thanks for your time. Great, cheers. All right, so we're here with Tam and Jamie. Guys, can you give us a quick rundown? Why are you here at the rally today?
Absolutely. I think our dogs can't talk, so we need to have a voice for them, to be honest. And it's appalling to think that anyone can take your family pet and, you know, take it away from you under the laws that are in with BSL. It's just not fair.
Absolutely, and me, everyone knows I'm an AMSAF owner, and I really want to see sensible decisions being made where they're not just discriminating against the whole breed.
Exactly.
Okay. So, excellent. All right, guys, well, we'll get into the march now, and let's see if we can get that positive message across. All right, we're here with Michelle. Michelle, you're here today to be a part of the BSL rally. Can you just tell us about why else you came here?
I come here today because I'm missing my Staffy.
Yep, and that's her there, is it?
This is her here.
So if we're not going to ban certain breeds, what's the solution?
I'm just against the BSL.
Okay. So what happened? She was stolen from your home, was she, or?
She actually went missing with one of her pups. She had pups at the time, and her pup went missing.
Okay.
I got the pup back, but I
haven't got her back. Okay, so that's got all your details on there if someone who does see the dog. What's the dog's name?
Girl.
Okay, no problem at all. Well, look, it's good to see you in support. You've put a lot of effort into your sign here too, so if we can just get a shot of that for the camera. How good's that? How long did it take you to do that?
About 2 hours.
About 2 hours,
Yeah.
excellent, good on you. Well, thanks for coming out today, it's great to meet you. And
thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so we're here with Danelia. She's the current secretary of the Amstaff Club of Queensland, and she's also the breeder of Cooper, as most of you know. So thanks very much for speaking with us, Danelia. Can you tell us about the club?
The club has been affiliated now since the end of 2006.
Yep.
Basically, we have a membership database of only a small amount of 50, and they are ranging from people from Brisbane right down to Victoria to WA.
Yep.
We do currently need more members in order to support the club.
Yep.
Financially, and also the backing for this type of event as of today.
Yep.
So that is very important that we do.
Yep. So what? So it's not just for owners of Amstaff. People who own normal English staffies can join as well.
Anybody that has an interest in the breed can join. Participate in any of our events that we hold throughout the year.
Yep.
We normally hold events that are in conjunction with other clubs, which helps us hold the numbers together.
Yep.
And make it a successful daily event for everybody.
Yeah, cool. And can you just tell people how much the membership currently costs?
The membership currently for a single membership is $15, which lasts for a full 12 months, and a family membership is $20.
Okay, so yeah, it's really cheap as chips, and if you want to support an organisation that's going to help fight BSL, and you know, that's what you've got to be a part of. So what about the rally today? Well, we've had a fairly good turnout. What would you like to see happen after this rally?
After this, basically let people be aware that it shouldn't be a matter that's just thrown under the carpet. They should be out there presenting the breed in a
positive light.
Absolutely positive mannerism, socialising, getting people aware that the breed isn't actually dangerous. It's who has them on the end of the lead and trains them to be.
Yeah, and we said that before when we interviewed Rebecca there. You know, really BSL is like if you say, well, okay, a certain race of people are responsible for something and you want to ban all the race. It's, you know, you can't just blanket cover and you know, like that. It's just not fair. So I agree completely with what's happening, and I'm really happy to see the turnout here today. So look guys, if you want to jump on, what's the website? Do you know that off the top of your head?
It is www.astcq.com.
Okay, alright guys, check that one out. I'll put it also under the link to this video on YouTube. So thanks again for your time, mate, and it's good to see everyone out here.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're with Georgia, and she's also a committee member with the Amstaff Club of Queensland and a personal friend of Aussie Reviews. So Georgia, thanks for your time, mate. Great to see you out here and everything. So what we wanted to do was just go around and talk to different people involved in the protest. We've had a fairly good response today with people who've come out and everything. So you personally, tell us what makes you love the Amstaff breed so much?
Basically, we were in the position to be able to have a dog at our house, so we did a lot of investigation into breeders, like the traits of the breeds, and we were looking at a few different types. We were looking at Staffordshire Bull Terrier, Bull Terrier, and also the Amstaff. We had our hearts pretty much set on an Amstaff, and then one day we went along to the video shop and actually met Cooper.
Yep.
Your dog.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he just basically made us fall even more in love. So we actually brought Jackson, our dog, from the same breeder that Cooper came from as well.
Yep, excellent. Yeah, no, they are. There's something magical about them, and you know, and I remember saying at the time, like, you know, they just love so much. They have so much love and that willingness to please.
Yes, definitely.
It's just so lovely about them. So, what would you like to see personally as a result of today's rally?
Basically, that more people are educated on the fact that the breed of the dog doesn't determine like personality traits and, you know, tendencies to attack or have any aggressive type of you know, tendencies at all. As well, you know, not just the fact that the dogs don't attack, it's the fact that you know, some rehoming places won't even look at bull breeds. They don't even get the chance to have personality tests to be rehomed. So breed-specific legislation, like, not just about dogs that are being put down, but dogs that don't have the potential to be rehomed as well.
Excellent. Yeah, well look, you know, you're a great advocate for the Amstaff, and I'm really happy that you're an Amstaff owner. And thanks very much for all the effort you put in, because you put in a massive effort, and you really need to be congratulated, so good on you.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Thanks.
So guys, look, I'm going to give a few final thoughts on this rally. There's a lot of good people here, good family people that are out here with their dogs, and they just love them so much. The legislation is so wrong. You can't discriminate against the whole breed. It's just not how it works. That's like just, and I've said it with a few interviews here, that's like discriminating against a whole race of people just because of one or two bad people. It's just not the right thing to do. So please, if you're watching this video, if you are part of the media or you are part of Parliament, a politician, please look at this sensibly. There's a lot of good people out there who give these dogs loving homes. So I hope you really take away something from the video. So thanks for watching.